All right, so hey, good morning. What time is it? What day is it? Let's see. The day is is it Friday? This doesn't say it here, but it must be. The third, March 16th. Yeah, it is a Friday, isn't it? Friday. Stupid Fridays. That means it's the last trading day of the week. Boo! Anyways, hey, happy Friday, the 16th of March, 2018. This is your daily Forex trading strategy session. Let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Stay strong, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Ni hao ma! Oops. Hi, my name is Wayne McDonell. I'm the Chief FX Market Strategist for TradersWay.com. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a client. Put your diamonds in the sky. Traders Way. I'm here to teach you how to trade Forex technically, fundamentally. You can go over trader psychology, but the overriding goal here is to help you become an improved Forex trader as soon as possible. We want you to be not just surviving, but thriving. Traders Way wants to earn your loyalty and respect. They want to become your prime broker for your successful Forex trading business, and that's why I am here. So to show your loyalty and respect and to keep these meetings happening day after 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 day, please visit TradersWay.com and at least open a demo account. Give us an opportunity. We'll show you we have fast execution speed, we have low fees, and we have world-class customer service, and we have me for you. So we just need you to be with me and us. And together we, as they say in Paris. So I do these sessions Monday through Friday here at Forex.Today, 7:30 a.m. That's approximately London lunch. Boom! Okay, cool, right? All right, so what are we going to cover today? I thought I'd look at the exotics quickly so we can look at what happens when trade barriers are announced from major importers and exporters and all that kind of stuff. Then I'd like to review the US dollar. Then I would like to review the the Japanese yen. And I can look at some posts on Forex.Today. And then I think we're out of here to enjoy the weekend. What do you stink? Smell like a plan? Cool. Right, well then let's get going. Right here we have the exotics. Yeah. Exotics. Now they're all USD based. And what we see across the board is the dollar is stronger than the South African rand. The dollar is stronger than the Mexican peso. The dollar is stronger than the Turkish lira. So across the board, the dollar looks strong, or these exotic currencies look weak. And that's what we talked about yesterday and the day before. When you close the barrier, close the borders of the United States of America, like through protectionism, you should see the dollar get strong. So we talked yesterday about going to Home Depot to buy a wheelbarrow, and you're like, what's this? A wheelbarrow for $259? A couple of years ago, this was $59. What's the difference? Well, one's made in America with American steel and American workers. The other one used to be Chinese and was super cheap. But there's a trade war, and you cannot buy. You're not buying Chinese wheelbarrows anymore. You're buying real American. But that could lead to strong dollar, but expensive labor, expensive input costs, and higher prices. Okay, so there you go. There's kind of a response, right? Very nice. So what are you going to do? If I were me, I'd probably wait till closer to the end of the month before looking at this trade. Because remember, we set this up for a sell, but I can only tell you, It may last a couple of days, 2-3 days. It could last 2-3 weeks. I don't know, but you can see this is the repatriation flow, and then it's gone. Oh wait, that's ZAR, but it's the same thing. There's a sell there. Peso. Let's go on the peso. I don't have the correct pivots, but anyways, whatever. You should know. You should know. Whoop. You should know how to trade this. Okay, so let's move on to US dollar. No, let's do this one first. By the way, if you do watch this on YouTube, you should be like a subscriber so you get alerts. You should leave likes. Don't be a lurker. Leave a like, leave a comment, all that kind of stuff. All right. So here's that Aussie dollar. Isn't that crazy? That's good, right? Isn't that cool? Oh, get rid of that. Let me add a drawing tool. Cool, right? Like an amazing coincidence that that's a weekly and a monthly pivot. Amazing, right? Well, not really, because that's what's supposed to happen. Juan says, why a stronger dollar? You might want to watch yesterday's video, Juan, but imagine this. If you're not sending your money to China to buy Chinese products, then there's no US dollars sloshing around the foreign market. Lots of supply of dollars would weaken it. But if all the money is back home, because it's never leaving the United States, then it's strong. Because the international supply in the foreign exchange market would be low because it doesn't leave the United States, right? Yeah. You have people scrounging around like, hey, you seen any US dollars? They're like, nope, can't find any US dollars. Demand is high, supply is low. But here's the scarier thing. What if supply is low and demand is low? Because no one's buying our treasuries. Anyways, that's too scary to even think of, but ponder it, right? All right, so anyways, we worked our way down from a top to a bottom. Now the clever part of this is the old buy zone. This is the old sell zone. And it's one of these things like, you know what? This is why we have these lessons. You understand? There's a buy zone here. Now we're talking on a longer term swing, like maybe not on the 1 hour, but let's say the 4 hour, right? There's clearly a buy zone on this chart to the right. There's clearly a sell zone on this chart at the right. And then there's either pigs or monkeys in the middle, right? They're either getting slaughtered or they're just kind of monkeying around. So that's kind of cool. I like that. There's a very defined top. Would you sell here if you were you? I mean, look, it's been falling like crazy. Look at that. Absolutely no way. If you sell this, you just don't know how to trade. Hey, Marina, it's made a lower low. Why not sell the lower high? Girl du price action. Yeah, well, you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them, right? So, oops, gee whiz, Wayne, where did that go? It was this one. So this is where it stops. The buck stops here. So even if it does fall further, you'd be taking on too much risk, in my humble opinion, to keep selling it. Now, as a bull, however, you have the opportunity to think about going long if you are already a bull. Now, there's nothing here to make you a bull, but if you were a bull, this is what you'd be hoping to see. Okay, something like that. or just as interesting, maybe that's good too. Yeah, you know, George and Matt, they show up at 7:30 in the morning. I think they feel bad because I overpaid by so much. They're like, dude, really? Oh, well, we better show up early because that dude overpaid. Yeah. All right, see what I mean? So I think if you're a bear, you need to like stop for a while. And if you're a bull, you need to set up a trade plan. What kind of reversal pattern would you like to see here? Okay. And then here's the other thing. What if you don't know what I'm talking about? You're like, what's support? I think you need to work on that. Okay. So I don't know what's going to happen in the next few hours on that price. I just know it'd be a very, very bad idea to sell. Okay. Oh, the other thing to comment, as a bull on Aussie dollar, I would want to buy it here, or I'd want to buy it here. Two opportunities. So I say, well, as a bull, I'm going to look to buy it around 77, 60 or 50-ish, kind of in there. If that don't work none, how about around 77? Done. 77.50 or 77. Oh, so nice. And that's called trade planning. Someone else is like, oh, look, it's been falling for the last 8 hours straight. I think I will sell now. Oh, Juan's asking good questions. Juan, there's two types of inflation. There's, right? There's good inflation and there's bad inflation. Ooh, and we're talking bad inflation. Ask my brothers and sisters from South Africa. They've had strong rand. They've had inflation. And not, right? Not the good inflation. All right. So, where do we go from here? Which is the way that's clear? Still looking for that euro dollar, baby queen. Right? So, here's our plan on Friday/Sunday. We had a good start. You had a good trade when you left. You're right. Well, the question though is, does Venezuela have a strong currency? Okay. Boop, boop, boop. You know, I heard the real problem with the tariff on steel is that the Chinese make better steel than the American companies. Like, we just don't have the ability to make the steel we actually need. It's not that our steel is bad, but then, you know, steel isn't just steel. You know, just take iron ore, melt it down, sprinkle some coal on, boom, steel, bang it out. Well, that's what happened to to the Titanic. The steel was brittle. They brushed against the side of an iceberg, and the whole thing cracked right open, and basically shattered. And a ship that was designed to be unsinkable sunk. So the steel was actually flawed. Steel isn't steel isn't steel isn't steel. So you know, if you need specialized metals, like even just making cars now, right? So if we don't have the steel here, oh, Brooke. All right, Brooke wants to get in a fighting match about the Titanic. All right, let's just not though. All right, let's just not. But anyway, so bottomish, still in play, but it's not as pretty as it was, right? Remember, we predicted this bottom here on Friday. It's now Friday again. So, oops. It was we were talking up here, and I drew this arrow on Friday when we were here. In fact, we were here, and I said this is where I think we would go this week, right? I'm talking days in the future here. And then sure enough, it started. Everything's fine. Everything's good. Everything's right as rain. All right, and boo. So now what do? Do you pick this up? Well, you have to ask yourself about the higher time frame, because maybe it's just this. And it's inconclusive. I don't really know. Okay? I can tell you, if I was a bear, if I were a little bear and I would sell Aussie, I would sell Aussie at 123. You can't even see this. 72. I'm gonna need to get glasses. These are all like temporary glasses, but now I need them. I'm like, I can't see anything because there's like anyways. Oh, sorry, the euro. I was still thinking Aussie. Sorry. Yeah, right. I'm thinking sort of in here for sell. What if you're a bullseye? What if you want this to go up? What's the price? Right here. You're at it. So if I was a bull, I think what I would want to do on this is drop into like a 15 or watch this hour, one or the two, but you're basically kind of looking for a bounce on the monthly central. Okay? If I was a bull, that's what I'd be doing. And as a bear, you're totally comfortable with that because you want it to go up so you can sell it. And now you're a bull and you want it to fall because you may have already missed it, but you're hoping, well, I hope it comes around and I'll buy the next swing, right? This doodad here being a swing, like, okay. Okay, Brooke, that's fine. I'll go with that. Was there even an iceberg? Yeah, I once listened to John Ballard or Ballard, I think it is, the guy that discovered the Titanic. I went to see him speak at an old white man's club. I'd tell you, but you're not old enough. You're not white enough. You gotta be a whiter and older. And then I'll let you know. All right. Boom, boom, boom. Still could be in play. So which one's which? This is where you make decisions. I don't know which one's which. If you're a bull, I just outlined exactly where you would buy. If you're a bear, I just outlined exactly where you would sell. It's up for you. I don't know what your bias is. You know what I mean? Cool. So that's that. Let's move on .com. That was euro dollar. We've done Aussie dollar. Let's do USD CAD. Like. It's so prevalent now, isn't it? Everything's back to thumbs up again. Okay. What do you see here? Well, that is one heck of a move. Whoa. That's big, huh? That's really big. I want to change the template here. That's a very big move, very technically important in many ways. Because in here, down in this area, right, if you recall, there were two things that we talked about. If you were a bear, you had this, which is a very obvious sell. Okay, very obvious. It's like a slap in the face. You're like, boom! Oh my God, did you just slap me in the face? It's like that's a sell zone if you're a bear. You're like, boom! That's where you do it, right? But the most interesting thing, and we did talk about this at NFB as well, is if you happen to be a bull, this is like a slap in the face support. And it did the higher high. Oh, I should really do this in a different color. It did do the higher high, higher low scenario, and then it used this as a role reversal, and now it's just kicking off the moving average. I mean, it's actually speeding up. Right? Pretty boy moved to Florida? In the Florida Keys, there's a place for Freddie boy. Vero Beach! What side of the railroad tracks? That's nice, Freddie boy. Gee whiz, Fred. Time to go visit Fred, huh? Right on, man. Sounds like an Airbnb to me. Very nice, man. Good for you. Living the dream. You know what you should do, though? As soon as the dollar now that the dollar is strong, I'm hoping that things are going to change and we stop talking protectionism. But take a strong dollar and move to like Vietnam, live on the beach in Vietnam. You talk Thai? Go to Thailand. Malaysia, except I don't think you're allowed to drink, right? So you can't go to Singapore. I just heard that Singapore is the most expensive city in the world now. And I'm like, oh, that's a shame because I love Singapore. You should see me in Singapore. I look like I should be in Singapore. Right? I look like a local boy. Like, look at that. That's Mr. Singapore. I'm like, no, 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 no. My name is Wayne. Nice to meet you, though. Thank you. Brady, where are you? Oh, you're in Kuala Lumpur? Yeah. Yeah, we got to meet up, man. There's so many things I need to do. But anyways, up, huh? This is all very, 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 very technically up. If you recall, the plan for bulls was the target is up here, man, like 31. And this bottom was basically, well, it was less than 29. I can't remember, at 28.50 to 31.50, right? That's a nice little move, man. And it could go to, I'd say 32, right? That's the full potential, but can we hit the full Monty today? I don't know about that. But 300 pips. That's from low to low, or low to conservative target. The aggressive target now is this up here, and that's so 400. So you got just over 300 to 400 potential, and all you had to do was be a bull. You may not have been a bull, and that's all right. It's not your fault. That's the thing. It doesn't matter. If you're not a bull on this, it doesn't matter. As a bull, you really, 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 really needed to have looked at this area. Okay? That was plan A as a bear. That whole area right there is for selling. Price action, pivots, the whole thing. The kit and the caboodle. The next kind of area for bears to look for trade setups is off of this. Again, price action, right? And there's no monthly, there's no weekly, there's no top. This just hot knife through butter. Oh no, Marina is the double negative person. No, Marina. My wife says things like that. I'm like, wait, no, Daniel is in Singapore. Right, the double negative. Is Daniel not in Singapore? Wait, no, Daniel is in Singapore. It takes me a while to translate very often. Like, what did she just say? Oh, you mean, yeah, he is in Singapore. Right. No, I know. Yeah, totally. Move over, make room for Marina. Roll over. Yeah, no, Daniel isn't not from Singapore. Right, but that would be the proper answer, right, Ted? But then my brain goes, so anyways, I'm like, I just say, Daniel lives in Singapore, and that's that. I don't know what you asked me, but hopefully that answers your question. All right. Gold. Let's do some gold. Okay. You know, and I feel like we've just rehashed this over and over and over and over again. So, but I don't know if you use this information, but this is a buy zone. This is a sell zone, right? Like, come on, bro, right? Look at, if you're a buyer, somewhere around here is your buy zone. If you're a seller, somewhere up here is your sell zone. And we knew this on Friday. It's not like you're saying it now, or I guess it's me. It's not like I'm saying it now, like, oh, now that this has happened, that's resistance. No. We knew that when we were basically down here, we knew this was going to be a top. If you went there, I mean, if it went up, that was going to be resistance, is the idea, right? You know what I mean? So we knew that. We did. We knew, like, factual to the pip. We would have said, oh well, you know, $1,341.40 is how accurate we were on that. Okay. So, anyways, there are places to buy gold and there are places to sell gold, and then there's mediocrity for everything else. And so now we are closer to the buy area, which means it would dumbfound me that you would sell it. And someone might say, well, in smaller time frames, they're like, well, Wayne, look, look, it's going to do that. Well, even if you thought that would still be a dumb place to sell. Because I don't know if this is bullish. I don't know if this is bearish. And we say this every day, but I have to drill it home, especially maybe you're new. I don't know the future is any more than anybody else. My job as a foreign exchange speculator is to know where buyers are probably going to be and certainly not sell there. Right? You want to take profit there and maybe buy it there. And my job is to know where bears are likely to sell and not buy it, because I'm going to be overwhelmed by all the sellers. So at the very least, as a bull, take some profit or maybe sell it too. If I can identify these areas, then I simply know prices I would consider buying, prices I would consider selling, and the rest is waiting. The most difficult part of being a professional trader of probably any kind is patience and the discipline to carry out the patience. You have to say things like, well, I'm a buyer down near 1312 or whatever that is, but down in here, and I'm a seller in here. And what should you do with the central? Well, it's your call. This, right? You'd have to be pretty aggressive, but you can call this now sort of like you can call it like an inside trend, and you can say, well, that's resistance and this is support, and trade it within there instead of the bigger move, which would be a bearish point of view. Okay, I'm okay with that, but you just got to know, where to buy and sell, and that comes down to support and resistance, right? And I've done all kinds of training over the year where I just say, look, let's just do support and resistance, nothing else. Everything else is finesse on top of support and resistance. But boy, if you're not good at support and resistance, then you're telling me, Wayne, I'm really good at technical analysis, but I don't know where people are going to buy and I don't know where people are going to sell. Well, that's a problem, isn't it? Well, this is what like fundamentalists run into. The inefficiency of being a pure fundamentalist. Yeah, I'm a buyer on oil. Oh, what price are you going to buy it at? Well, we're just kind of slowly acquiring a position randomly. As prices fall, we just kind of buy, right? Buy and hold. And if it falls, we'll buy some more and hold that. And we just dollar cost average on our way down, right? People do it, especially stock traders, right? Well, we're just going to slowly accumulate at the market. You're like, really? You don't even have a buying area? You don't even have a price in mind? Well, you can't predict that. Right? What do you mean you can't predict that? You say, well, in that case, they're admitting it. And you say, oh, yeah, you're right. You cannot predict that. But I can, right? So anyways, this is why support and resistance is important. I don't care what your bias is. I don't care even how you get there. Right? I've told you so many ways that people have made money, like the migration of African elephants, predicting the rainfall in Canada and in Russia. And so therefore, you can start buying and selling futures contracts for wheat. Huh? Yeah. There's a hedge fund that used to do that. They rented spy satellites and stuff, right? How about this one? Tracking the price, the market price of rendered fat. You're like, what? Suet, industrial suet, which is a byproduct of slaughterhouses. You're like, what are you talking about? They use this fat from the slaughterhouses, then they render it down, turn it into suet being used to make industrial soap products. And it just turns out, when you retool factories, because the factory is expecting new orders, they tear down the factory and they clean it with industrial soap made from suet, made from rendered animal fat. And the guy says, well, so if there's a sharp demand in rendered fat, there's a sharp increase in demand in industrial soap. Therefore, factories are getting new orders, but they haven't even made it yet. And so, therefore, I know that industrial production and capacity utilization figures are about to skyrocket before anybody else. And then, of course, if orders are being placed, then there's an increased demand for these new products. And so, like, in 8 months, retail sales are going to go up. So all of a sudden, this dude works all the way back and he starts buying like the Gap stock 9 months before the numbers hit. You know what I mean? Like, cool stuff, right? So I don't know. I don't care how you get your ideas. Or that sounds like Gordon Gekko, right? I don't know how you do it, kid. Right? I don't need another dog with fleas. I got 20 analysts working for me. I don't need another one. I don't know. I don't care how you get your information. Just get it. But anyways, I don't care how you come up with your bias. You can be completely delusional. I don't care. You might be the luckiest person in the world, even though you're delusional. Great. But if you know you're a buyer or if you know you're a seller, then the rest is just picking out support and resistance to do it. And you'll probably be profitable. Okay? So oil, is this going to go up? Is this going to go down? Boy, look at the price action all over the place. Looks like consolidation to me, huh? We were talking about that earlier. And maybe you have to have the patience and discipline to wait. Okay? Bulls are still kind of looking for this, right? And bears, dangerously, however, are probably still kind of playing this. Remember, we drew this one time, didn't we? We had some sort of channel like that. So maybe you wait for it to break out of the channel. Hey, bull, if you're a bull. Right? Checks this tighter and tighter range, but you're supposed to identify when that range breaks. Okay? Like for example, is this happening? How are you drawing it? Okay? For that, you probably need the value of the US dollar to fall. Okay? So bears are doing this. They're looking at this area, which I've already marked, 2, 3, 4 weeks ago. They're already looking at that as a sell area. But a bear could also be hoping for, hope's not a strategy, but they could be hoping for this, right? And the funny thing is a bull is hoping for that too. Because if that arc doesn't hold, then they're hoping somewhere in here is going to hold, right? So why don't you, if you're ultra conservative, you could do nothing until it breaks that area, that range. You say, well, between 64 and 50, what is that, 59? Between 64 and 59, I'm neutral. Oh, my grade in art class was fantastic. Very creative. Right? Very creative. Problem is, do I see reality? That's my challenge. Could I cover cable? Yes, I am happy to, Barry. Thank you for asking. Covered it. Any other questions? Look, here's Friday's swing low, right? Very predictable buy. Okay. Very easy buy on Friday if you're a bull. And here's the target. Now, the interesting thing is you hit the target like Tuesday, certainly Wednesday, and you would have thought that it was going to come down and retrace back to the central, which it didn't. So it's still fairly bullish, but I mean, this is one of those scenarios, Barry, where I tell people, if you buy on, Friday or Monday, you should expect to be out of this by Wednesday, maybe Thursday at the latest, and you spend the rest of your time volunteering at a museum or going to an old folks home, helping out at a hospital. They're like, Barry, what is it that you do? You're here all the time, like every Thursday, Friday, you're hanging out with us. Don't you have a job? You're like, yeah, I'm a foreign exchange trader. I do swing trading, like typically done by Wednesday, God forbid Thursday. And I have nothing else to do except hang out with you old folks. Tell me about World War II again. Yeah. Well, Carrington was like hell on earth. The German resistance was fierce. Yeah. You're like, okay. I heard this story yesterday, Grandpa, but that's good. Go ahead. Tell me about Carrington again. Yeah. I'd listen to that story every day anyways. Did I tell you that story? I was at the Ritz-Carlton on Amelia Island. My wife's like, I want to sit out on the patio. There's fire pits out by the bar. And you're going to have a cocktail with me and no cigars. I'm like, yeah, baby, that sounds good, right? Just you and me, one-on-one. Right? One-on-one. So we sit down and we're next to the fire pit and we're on sort of a couch here. And then there's another couch to the side, right? I'm like, just one-on-one time, no cigars, just me focused on you. And like 3 old men swing on by. I haven't even got my cocktail yet. Right? And they asked the waitress, can we smoke cigars here? I'm like, oy vey. So these 3 old men fire up the cigars and they're puffing away like right there. And it's like me and my wife, and I'm like, that smells so good. I probably even know what that is. She's talking about her, hopes and dreams. And I'm like, I think I know what cigar that is. It smells so good, right? You know what these 3 old guys smoking cigars then start talking about? Their war stories. They all served together in battle, and they start talking about their war stories, and I'm like, oh, I want to turn and listen to them, and I want to ask them so many questions, and I want to smoke a cigar with them. I'm like, come on, man, tell me all your war stories. Hey, honey. It's like, isn't life funny like that? It's just like, I couldn't believe it. These guys are, but it's Vietnam now. And that was the other thing I'm thinking, like, oh my God, these old guys are talking about Vietnam going through the jungle. I'm like, wow, Yeah. You certainly can, Ted. Yeah. But anyways, just really funny. It's just, let's talk about the kids a little more. All right. So anyways, pig dog. That's the top, bro. So first thing I think of is this is dead. It's done. You should have walked away like, I don't know, Wednesday. What is it doing now? Well, what could we possibly say about this? You're in a very, 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 very difficult place to buy. You could sell it. You could. I really don't like selling in an uptrend, but you certainly could. So you need to be a little cautious, and maybe you're just a scalper. So how would you set this up? I suppose you would do it like this. Take that as a roll reversal and dump it But again, just the general premise of selling into an uptrend is difficult for me. But certainly plausible. Okay, certainly plausible. What else do we have here? This kind of looks like somebody bought it, doesn't it? Like, oops. Doesn't it seem like it already came down and somebody bought it here? And it came down again and somebody bought it here and here and here and here and here, and saved it here and bought it on the role reversal. Like, doesn't it seem like there is buyers? And if we're not making lower lows, this is probably just profit taking, right? So you got to be really careful. Ask yourself, do you really want it? I want to change things. La, 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 la. Boop. Okay, let's put this in context. What did we talk about almost 3 weeks ago? Barry's like, I'm not looking. Well, you asked me to cover it. I'm covering it. Okay. This was a buy 3 weeks ago, 16 calendar days ago. So 2 weeks ago. This was a buy. It's been a buy all March. The sell occurred here. And now we just roll reversed off the whole sucker. So you want me to cover pound dollar. Okay, I'll cover it. My analysis of the pound dollar is that in the month of March, aka the next 2 weeks, pound dollar should reach 142.50. So only what is that, 300 pips more. But Barry's not looking to buy it. So what's the price to sell it? 140. Okay. If you want to be clever, Barry, do you want to be clever? How clever do you want to be? There's often a penalty to it, but you can be rewarded by being more clever than the average trader. If you're looking to sell it, the number is 139.84. That's it. I want to do some yens. Come on, let me get this out of the way. Oh. Gee whiz. Okay. Bop, bop, bop. Let us go yen yen. Yep. Yeah, you got knocked out. Well, you were just you know, did you lock in a minimal acceptable performance? Should always lock in a small profit. All right. Yens. Yens down, yens down, yens down, yens down, yens down, yens down. It seems to me 2 weeks ago we said they would go up for a week and go down for a week. Basically, right? So my next question to myself is, how right am I? Meaning, I could really easily talk myself into buying these, right? Confirmation bias. Look at all these lines, guys. Look what I did for you. Look at this. This was on Monday. It's now Friday. I said, look, you could sell it here, straight down. Okay, you ready for this? Let's just have some fun. I won't even do the actual top, just from where I drew. This one is 240 pips. That's one. Again, not perfect. Let's try this one. 240 pips and 200. And 10 actually, right? So 500 pips there. Look at this one. Now we're at support. This is where you take your profit, 280. So not quite 300, not quite 800, so 750 pips. This one is just starting the turn, so we can't really count that. I mean, look at this. Pretty clear, right? Right, what is that, 175, or let's count it as 150. That's 900. Look at, beautifully drawn, right? And that gets us to 1,000. All you had to do was swing trade. All you had to do is swing trade. Now here's the funny thing, right? Here's where it gets funny. We predicted the up move first. We said down here that I thought it would go up first, then come down and double bottom. That's what all these sideways horizontal lines are. So there was the up first, then the down. So this was drawn not this week, it was drawn last week. So 1,000 pips up, 1,000 pips down. And of course, we knew this downward move before that happened as well. Am I exaggerating? That we had this all predicted to come down weeks and weeks and weeks in advance. Then this week we said it would go up and then back down? Any exaggeration at all in any of that? Am I kind of twisting the past to look good now? Or was that the analysis? I need to know. It's either 100% or not 100%. If you don't remember it that way, I need to know, because then I'm a coach. And if you don't remember it that way, then I need to work on the way I coach. But it was either 100% factual or not, right? So Pete and Ted, Marina, Toomey, Daniel, all 100%. Chuck 100%. Pete 100%. Cool. Katie 100%. Kavista, Abel, all right. Anthony, yes. Matthias, cool. So then it goes back. Then it goes back to, I think you already know what I'm going to say next, and you're going to get upset. It's the whole point. Being upset is good, because you either fold or you fight. Fight or flight, right? If that was the plan all along, then you must have nailed it. I mean, 1,000 pip week is a pretty good week. You must have crushed it. And if you didn't, then what you do over the weekend is ask yourself, why not? Why not? Because you can see, this is my bias. This is just me. I'm nobody. I'm a peon, a vapor, nothing. I can't move the market. So it comes down to, like, you need to get really good at making a decision. And then you need to get really good at carrying out your analysis. So if you had the analysis, but you didn't carry out the trade, then what's the missing piece, right? Because let's put it this way. Let's say in the world, an analyst makes 65,000 and a trader makes 650,000. That's in the workforce, right? I only bet on winners, sport. So that's it. I want to do one other thing. Does anybody have a trade plan on Forex.Today they would like me to review? Seems to me people are not posting. I have a new developer that I'm going to have go through the site. Okay, like today, in fact, I'm going to have her look at all these little tweaks and bugs and stuff and make it easier for you. So if that's the reason for you not posting, then I already have someone that's going to look at it. But I honestly believe posting will make you a better trader. So you say the pictures are not posting, but so many people are posting just fine. Thomas, for example, posts every day without fail, day after day after day after day. He's posting with pictures. So it's hard for me to get my head around that. So, but I've hired a new developer that I think is better than the old developer. And so we'll unleash her power and see if she can make it better. I'd also like to redesign the actual sort of process. You know, I want it to be more like a WYSIWYG editor and stuff. So I think it'll just get nicer, okay? Even though Euro is racing, I still hold my bear projection for this pair. Very good, Bob. The reason is simple. Higher time frame makes precedence, and only one way or another, lower time frame. Okay, cool. So he's saying, even though it's rallying, this is the place he's going to sell. 50% to 618 Fibonacci retracement. Very good. buy signal, and then roll it over. Okay. Bearish divergence pattern. Oh, interesting. And a bearish engulfing candle. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, see, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. It's making a higher high, but not here. Okay. Bearish engulfing candle on, on a weekly chart. Yeah. Yeah, I would prefer it a little more engulfing, but I get it. I see what he's thinking. I like that. So, couldn't you leave a comment? Well, what about this or what about that? Hey, I would like to see slightly more bearish engulfing candle. Great trade plan. I'd like to see a bigger bearish engulfing candle, but nonetheless like your plan. Boy, that took me so long. Okay. I thought about it. I went through it. I thought about it, left a comment. Well, Ted, why don't I just have somebody try to fix it, right? So anyways, like. Boom. Thank you for liking this post. Beautiful. So anyways, I will make improvements for you. I care. You're my sweet baby, but you need to post. What can I say? So how about this? I'm going to upload the video to YouTube like I did yesterday. It only took me about 10 minutes. It's downloading faster, and it pops up here. So I'll post a link, a thing, okay? And for over the next hour and a half, the chat will be available, right? You just click the bottom right corner, as I say. So you get it running. And then you put your mouse here and say watch on YouTube. Because every time it creates a new live stream, it's a new, unique, random URL. So you won't know while it's running. But then all of a sudden it starts running and it's got the chat going and all that kind of stuff, right? Oops, I probably should get out of this mode. Right? And the chat's here and we can talk and all that kind of stuff, right? Right? So you can see, you can chat with me and all that kind of stuff. So now it's a recording, but the next one I'll post up in here and it'll be today's and you can hang with me there. So anyways, peace on earth, may the pips be with you, may your profits be above average. Oh, and when you do that, at least give it a like. Leave a and say hi or something like that, okay? So peace on earth, may the pips be with you, may your profits be above average, and you have a fantastic weekend. You deserved it, but make sure you review the charts, review your fundamentals, identify your strengths and weaknesses as a trader. Walk in Monday morning, hot to go, HOTTOGO. Not just like happy to be a trader, but you should be working on very, 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 very specific things this week. If you don't have an action item, smart plan, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely for very specific things next week on how you can improve as a trader, then you're just winging it every day. Don't wing it every day, okay? Cool. See you Monday. Cheers.